Now let's talk about how to classify conics, looking at an equation using the discriminant. There's a formula here, and they have it written out in the correct form, where they have the squared terms first, except for, we'll call this ax squared, and it'll be cy squared. What's in between is the xy term. That's our b. If you use b squared minus 4ac, if you remember from the quadratic formula, that same idea, b squared minus 4ac. If you use that and you get a value less than 0, it's either a circle or ellipse. Now, if b equals 0, it's a circle, and a equals c, then it's a circle. So if these two are the same, and this does not exist, it's a circle if those two are the same. It's an ellipse if these two are not the same, or if there is a b value there. So that would make it an ellipse. Now, when you do the b squared minus 4ac, if you happen to get 0 exactly, that's a parabola, and hyperbola, excuse me, if it's greater than 0. Now, we can also type these in the calculator, but so for quick measure, we can look at, I always look at, are these two. So we noticed that these two are not the same. That eliminates a circle from choice. So now, all you have to do is you find your b, which is here. This is my b, this is my a, this is my c. So the formula is b squared minus 4ac. So in this case, my b is 5, so I'll have 25 minus 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 1. And I should put here the b is 5 squared. I'll do it this way. And now we'll simplify, so we get 25 minus 8. What is 25 minus 8? 17. Anything over 1 is a hyperbola. So that's what this equation is here. Now you could also graph these. So if you go to your calculator and you go to graph, you press menu, excuse me, I press dock, you press menu, graph entry, you type an equation, you go to conic down here. And you could type it in. If you remember, it was 2 squared, and then there was 5xy, it was 1 in front of the y squared, and I've forgotten the other values. Let's look at those. A negative 2x and a positive 12. Negative 2x, there was 0 y's and a 12. Let me make sure there's no just y by itself that's correct. So when I hit enter, I better get a hyperbola, or I made a mistake. Yep, it is a hyperbola. Let's check the next. So again, the same formula. We're going to look for, here's our a, here's our b. So they're the same. This looking like it could be a circle. Since there's no xy, since c, excuse me, I'll put b here. That's a c. Since b equals 0, there's no xy term. This has to be a circle. So I don't even have to do the rest. But we could, just if you wanted to, remember the formula is b squared minus 4ac. And so when I type that in, we don't have a b, so it's 0 minus 4 times a, which is 4, times c, which is 4, which equals negative 64. Since that's less than 0, it's either a circle or ellipse. Since these two are identical, it is a circle. And then part C. So again, I have these identical, so it's looking like it could be a circle. This is my A, this is my C. This time I do have a B. So since B is not equal to 0, then that means it could be very likely an ellipse. Let's check out the formula real quick. So we have b squared minus 4ac. So b is 4. I square it minus 4 times 2 times 2. 4 squared is 16. And 16 minus, that's 8, 16 equals 0. Since it's a 0 exactly, this is actually a parabola. So I'm kind of surprised. I was expecting to see an ellipse since I had both x squared and y squared present. Let's graph this to check. So we go up here. I'm going to press tab to change my equation. And I'm actually just going to turn this one off. And now we'll type in the new one. It was 2x squared. There was a 2 there. I remember the 4 was my b. And now let's see what my number is in front of. I don't have an x, but I have a negative 6y. So 0 there, a negative 6 here. And finally, what do I have by itself? I have the number negative 10. It looks like it's just a parabola. Let's zoom out just to be safe. Yep, it is a parabola. It is not making an ellipse. And so now it's your turn.